All right. This is for TFM, Turd Flinging Monkey. You know, I am a big fan. I've been a fan for a while. Enjoyed your videos and a lot of your content, and I agree with you in a lot of ways. The thing I definitely disagree with you is this idea that, you know, vegans are shoving their beliefs down your throat or other people's throat, when in reality it's you and other people who eat animals, including myself at one point. I used to eat animals for a very long time. For more than 3 decades of my own life, I consume the corpses and the secretions of innocent sentient beings because I believe that was how you get strong and how you get your nutrients. But I saw a few documentaries that opened my eyes, and I realized I'd been lied to. I'd been lied to my whole life. And since then, it's been my motivation to help others find that. Yeah, to some that might come off as a religion. It is an ideology, but is it wrong? I mean, if you TFM, if you saw someone kicking an innocent dog or killing an innocent dog in a parking lot as you're walking, would you say something? Would you try to do something, call the cops maybe? Or would you just walk on by and say, well, it's not bothering me any? Would you? I doubt it, TFM, because you do. I mean, you served in the military. You know what it is to stand up for the rights of others. I mean, I know you were in the Navy. I don't know exactly what you did. I was in the Marines. I was in the infantry. You know, my thing was to, I mean, granted, you know, don't get me wrong. I know the military isn't the perfect system or anything like that, but that is why I joined. My personal reason for joining the military was to protect others, innocent people that are in harm's way. That was the whole reason I joined. And I think maybe that was part of the reason why you joined. I don't know. I haven't heard you fully speak on that. But this idea that vegans are the ones pushing their ideology on you is ridiculous. You are not innocent here. You are actually paying someone to kill innocent sentient beings every day, you know, so you can have their flesh and their secretions when it's completely unnecessary. There is nothing in an animal's body or their secretions that we can't get out of plants. That's what people like you and most other people don't get. And they feel like they're being attacked when in reality, all we're doing is pointing out the obvious and you're just being triggered. That's what it is. You're triggered and you verbally attack others and say, oh, I hate them. They're shoving their beliefs. It's complete projection. I know you're probably not going to see this. I'm going to tag you in the video. I'm going to do what it takes to, you know, red pill you. I know you don't think, you know, it's, you know, I get it when somebody's selling something that's completely unnecessary. I get that. I avoid that too. But this idea that you're the innocent one is wrong. You're completely wrong on that point. You know, I really appreciate your content and watching your video today about red pilling your family members, and you went on and attacked vegans for supposedly pushing their beliefs onto you and others is just nonsense. You don't know the nuance of veganism, and you don't know why most people are doing it. You're going off ad hominems or negative stereotypes that other people throw out there about vegans. You know, I kind of had those negative stereotypes, but I never actually verbally attacked them or made fun of them. I thought they were wrong. I thought there was something off about them. I did too as well. But I didn't go around attacking them and trying to demonize them for just pointing out that killing animals is wrong. That's why they're saying anything. That's why most vegans say anything. It's not about health. It's not really even, for me, it's not, well, I can't speak for all vegans, but for me, it's not really about health. It's not about the environment. Those are benefits to being vegan. The reality is the reason I stopped was because I realized harming animals is wrong. When you actually see it firsthand, if you've ever seen a documentary called Earthlings, I strongly beg you, TFM, to watch Earthlings. Watch it one time. It's on YouTube. I'll tag it in the video. If you happen to see this, I beg you, just watch that. Watch that. Another great documentary is called Forks Over Knives. It does talk about the health benefits of a plant-based diet. Another great movie to watch is Cowspiracy and how detrimental it is to the environment. Again, you know, if you want to eat crappy food, that's fine. But when you're harming other animals, you're not innocent here. And other people are just pointing out the obvious that you refuse to look at. To me, to be honest, it was kind of disappointing hearing you rag on vegans. Yeah, if you want to talk on rag on or people selling you nonsense. But to rag on vegans is just, to me, such a blue pill thing to do. I mean, honestly, I can easily now categorize you as no different than a blue pill cuck who clings to an ideology that does not serve you. Feminism does not serve you. That's why you're not a part of it. But this idea that consuming the flesh of animals benefits you is completely wrong. You just haven't gotten that information yet. And I did reach out to you on Instagram, and I kind of got the sense that you're not open to it. That's actually kind of why I asked you, was to see if you're open to the message. And I could tell just by your response you're not open to it, because you didn't ask anything about it. And I get that. It's kind of triggering. It can be triggering. I didn't know what a vegan was before I became a vegan. I just accidentally watched that documentary Earthlings, and it flipped my freaking skull. It was the most red pill moment I ever had in my life. I thought I was red pilled before. I thought everything was hunky-dory. I was MGTOW before I was vegan, and I thought I was red-pilled, and I accidentally saw that, and it completely changed my mind. And then, another thing is, like, if you've never gone to a slaughterhouse, you can't talk about how, there's no way you could ever go to a slaughterhouse and ever tell yourself that what you're doing is right. There's no way. I mean, I can almost bet, I would bet money that you've never gone to a slaughterhouse, you've never actually killed an animal yourself directly with a knife, slit their throat, and watch them, kick and scream for the life. I never did that, but I thought I was at the top of the food chain. I was wrong. I was so misled. I knew when I was a little kid it was wrong. When I was eating a chicken, but I like birds, and I thought it was weird. But they tell you that's where you get your nutrients from. I didn't know that we are not designed to consume the flesh of animals and their secretions, no less. An egg is the menstruation cycle of a chicken. That is their period. That is what we were told. The egg industry can't even call that nutritious or healthy. They can't even call it that. It's against the law for them to call it that. And this idea that, eating that is good for you is just nonsense. It's just an ideology that does not serve us. Look how many people are dying every year. More than 1 million people die from heart disease and cancer every single year without fail. It does not go down. And in this idea that vegans are taking over, some people believe that. To me, the numbers don't show it, because actually the consumption of animal flesh is going up. There are more vegans, but the consumption of meat is going up for some odd reason. I don't know what's going on. Can't explain it. And vegans, like myself, I reach out to guys like you or people like you in hopes that maybe you're skeptical. Maybe you're skeptical of what we're being fed, but you cling to that. Like, you cling to this idea that we're supposed to eat that. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's kind of sad. It's just one of those things where I see you as a leader. But, at the same time, I don't see you taking any action and truly being a skeptic of not just what we're doing to the animals, but what's happening to the environment and what's happening to our health. I mean, to look at that, you've probably never looked at actual evidence that contradicts your belief. It's just weird that you look at all this, anti-egalitarian information, and you soak that up and you hang on to that. And then, I'm not saying that's wrong. I think it's great. You're passing on the message. It is important for a lot of people to understand it. And then at the same time, it's important for people to understand why vegans do what they do, why they speak up for innocent sentient beings that don't deserve to be killed. There's absolutely no reason to consume their flesh. None. No reason at all. I'm telling you, there's nothing in the flesh and the secretions of an animal that you cannot get in plants. The thing that you get when you consume the flesh of animals and their secretion is tons of cholesterol and saturated fat, which I'm sure you have to know by now. It's bad for your health. It's bad for our health. And it's bad for the animals, and it's bad for the environment. I'm not talking about global warming. I know some people want to you want to attach vegans to global. There are some vegans that do believe in global warming. I don't believe in that. I do believe it is detrimental to the environment. We are destroying the environment. These cows and pigs and chickens, they shit and piss, lakes full of shit and piss, and they pour it into the rivers, they spray it into the air, and it's making people sick. It's making people sick. So this idea that, the vegans, they're pushing their ideology onto me and I'm the innocent one. You're not the innocent one. We are not innocent. We harm animals. We harm the environment, and we harm our health in the process. That's what most people do not get and refuse to see. If you're truly a skeptic, TFM, please check out those documentaries. Just watch this video. Check out those documentaries. I'm going to be adding slaughterhouse footage to this, and you tell me that's perfectly fine. Explain to me how this is perfectly fine, how this is perfectly normal and you're not harming anybody and it's the vegans that are the bad ones. Please explain to me how you're the innocent one, okay? TFM, you sincerely come off no different than those blue pill cucks that cling to the gynocentric ideology. No different. You cling to it. It does not serve you. Consuming the flesh and secretions of animals does not serve you. It is not good for your health. It's not good for the environment, and it's definitely not good for the animals. I mean, granted, all I've known of you is your videos and stuff like that, and you come off as compassionate. You come off as level-headed. Like you see facts and you take them in and you make sense of them. And it's just one of those things where, like with vegans, there's things that we've seen that we cannot unsee and we cannot take back. And it's a message, just like you have a message when it comes to MGTOW and trying to red pill other guys. I mean, you're not forcing it down on anybody. So you're just talking. And that's what vegans want to do. They just want to have a conversation. I would like to have a conversation with you. That's why I reached out to you on Instagram in hopes of just having a dialogue, kind of having a back and forth. You have that dialogue with others. But for some reason, it's like when you use the word hate today, it really comes off like as an attack to push away anybody with that. Push away, to shoo people away, to scare them off. And then, with me, though, that doesn't work. I just hope to just spread the message, just like you with MGTOW. I appreciate your videos. Your video today motivated me to do this video. It's something I've been thinking about and wanting to do, and I've been working on it. I do create other videos, other kind of content. It doesn't have to do with MGTOW, and it doesn't have to do with veganism. I have been creating memes, but it's definitely one of those things where, creating videos on YouTube to kind of help spread the message of veganism and MGTOW. That's something I am doing now with this, and I appreciate your video today doing that. And I sincerely hope, maybe I won't red pill you, but maybe it'll just make you skeptical at the idea that this idea of consuming the flesh and secretions of animals does not serve you. No different than gynocentrism not serving the needs of men. And most women, it doesn't serve them. Again, so, I really hope that you see this video. I'm going to try to tag you in it or anything I can do to try to get you to watch this in hopes that maybe you'll see the other documentaries that I really recommend. It's one of those things where, like, I appreciate what you do. And it's one of those things where when you consume the flesh and secretions of animals, it's bad for your health. That's another thing. It's really bad. You guys, I hear you guys making fun of soy boys. And, I know when you say that, it's like you're making fun of vegetarians and vegans and, you lump us all in together. And it's one of those things where, like, I always figured the reason you say that soy is because people believe it's because it raises your estrogen level. And nothing could be further from the truth. The reality is when you consume the flesh and secretions of female creatures, cows, chickens, and pigs, your estrogen levels go up thousands of times higher than it does when you consume soy. There's two different kinds of estrogen. I don't know if you know this, TFM. There's two different kinds of estrogen. There's phytoestrogen and mammalian estrogen. Phytoestrogen comes from plants. Mammalian estrogen comes from animals. Guess which one actually affects your actual hormones? Yes, that is correct. Mammalian estrogen actually affects your estrogen levels thousands of times higher than plant-based estrogens. They have very little estrogen, and it doesn't come from actual females. When you consume the flesh of female creatures and their secretions, you're getting thousands of times higher levels of estrogen that actually affect your estrogen levels. And to me, that's why it makes so much sense when I see guys that buck and kick at this information, because their hormones are all over the place. They don't even realize it. TFM, in some of the worst moments of my life, I look back now and I look at what I was consuming at the time, and it was a lot of dairy and meat. I just wasn't myself. But since I've removed that on my diet, I feel great. And that's the thing, TFM, I want you around for a long time. I want you spreading the message. I don't want you to get sick. This stuff consuming the flesh of animals leads to sickness. Millions of people die from heart disease and cancer every year. I don't want you to be one of those, TFM. You served in the military. To me, you're no matter what, maybe you'll deny it, maybe you don't like it or whatever, but to me, you're my brother. You were in the military. We were in the military. You're in the Navy. I was in the Marines. I've talked to guys that I actually serve with about this sort of stuff, and yeah, you're right. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But, I kind of hoped that maybe you were different. I hope that you are different. You come off as a skeptic. You look at what we're told and you look at the reality of things and you go, wait, that doesn't fit. That's why you're MGTOW. That's why a lot of guys are MGTOW. And that's part of the reason why I try to reach out to you about veganism, and I want you to kind of find that, not that I want you to spread it, but just maybe not rag on vegans. Maybe if I can get you to at least do that, not crap on vegans, to me, that would be a victory. You don't have to give me that. I don't want you to give it to me. I just want you to look at the information, be skeptical. That's all I ask. I want you spreading the message. I want to spread the message with you. When I talk to guys, I do talk about MGTOW, and I also talk about veganism. And those two things are important to most guys. They just don't realize it. All we can do, just like with veganism, try to plant the seed. With MGTOW, you try to plant the seed. Sometimes it takes, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it takes a long time. And that's all I hope to do, is to maybe plant the seed in hopes that maybe you'll find the message in time. But just maybe, if anything else, maybe you'll watch Earthlings, and maybe you'll kind of reel back on those reins a little bit. I know most people kind of attribute or try to tag vegans with feminism. Yes, there are vegans that believe in feminism. I ran into them, unfortunately. It's not something that all vegans do, but some vegans do. I've seen it, and maybe a majority of them do, but not all. I am not one of those. I do consider myself MGTOW. I've been MGTOW for a long time. Before I caught your content, I was MGTOW. I just didn't know what it was. I just came across your content. I thought it was great. It does spread a great message. Veganism, it's just about causing the least amount of harm. It's just follow the golden rule, TFM. That's all vegans want people to do. Follow the golden rule. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Would you like to be treated like the animals in any ranch? You'd say, maybe they get fed grass and they're happy-go-lucky and they jump around, they have a good life and everything. Would you like to be sent to a slaughterhouse to be killed when you don't want to die? When you're still only like few years old? Would you like that? No, you wouldn't. Nobody would. Nobody would want that. So this idea that, I'm not harming anybody, it's just nonsense. Please, most vegans want people to do is just follow the golden rule. Treat others as you would like to be treated. And animals do qualify as others. That's a fact. You cannot take that away. Animals qualify as others. Treat them the same. I'd imagine you wouldn't want to hurt a dog, but we're sold this idea that we can harm cows and pigs and chickens, and that's perfectly fine. Cows and pigs are actually found to be smarter than dogs. So this idea that, it's because they're dumber or whatever, you wouldn't kill a dog, you wouldn't kill a cat. So this idea it's okay to kill a cow is just nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. People are clinging to the idea. I did, TFM. When I point the finger, I am definitely pointing the finger back at myself. I've been vegan for 3 years now, more than 3 years now, and I'm very happy about that. I'm very proud of that. That is something I am proud of. I'm also proud of being a Marine. I'm sure you were proud about being in the Navy. You don't probably talk about it a lot, but I'm sure it's something you carry with you all the time. It's the same thing with MGTOW. You're proud of that. I am as well. There's nothing wrong with being proud about things like that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to spread the message. You just want to help others and hope to plant the seed. I hope you find this message helpful, TFM. Hope it finds you. I hope you find you well. I sincerely wish you a happy new year. I sincerely do, TFM. I really do. Thanks, TFM. If you listen to this, I really appreciate it, man. And I hope you have a great new year. And maybe we can have a conversation in the new year. And maybe you'll join Veganuary. That would be amazing. But again, look at Earthlings if nothing else. Thanks, brother. Take care. Sincerely, man. See you soon or talk to you soon.